sanctions by China after the visit of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to the self-governed island, another high-level U.S. delegation has now arrived in Taiwan, all in an effort to further boost cooperation between Washington and Taipei. The delegation is led by Indiana Governor Eric J. Holcomb. It is the latest high-profile U.S. officials visit to the island nation. The delegation arrived in Taiwan on Sunday, thus kicking off a string of foreign visits that defy China's increasing attempts to deter West from engaging with Taipei. Now, the visit is part of an economic development trip that will also include a stopover in South Korea. The delegation is scheduled to meet Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen and sign an economic cooperation agreement with cabinet officials today itself. Holcomb would also meet representatives from Taiwanese semiconductor companies and is also expected to sign various trade and technology memorandums of understanding. Now, Taiwan is home to the world's largest chip maker. There was no immediate response from China on the visit. Taipei and Indianapolis formed sister city ties in 1978, established trade and economic ties. 1 year later, Taiwan and Indiana became sister states. Of more than 1,000 foreign-owned business establishments in Indiana, there are currently 10 from Taiwan as of now. Meanwhile, a bipartisan group of Japanese lawmakers led by Keiji Furuya of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party will also be visiting Taipei today. Japanese officials will be in Taiwan till August 24th and will meet Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen as well to discuss China's growing aggression and island's improving defense mechanisms with the United States of America. Now, all these developments come as China continues to conduct military drills around Taiwan. China, which claims democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, has been carrying out war games near Taiwan since U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi made a 2-day visit to Taipei. Meanwhile, Beijing has not ruled out taking the island by military force. China has vowed zero tolerance for what it calls separatist activities in Taiwan and reaffirmed that it can go to any extent to take control of the region.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Kadar Bun of GMS Gulf Coast. I'd like to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah, Kwadash. Double honors are given unto the apostle elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth over 30 plus years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice. Also, I'd like to send a shalom to the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, the hopeful elect, the speckled birds scattered throughout the 4 winds of planet Earth, north, south, east, and west, which consist of men, women, and children in that order. Also, I'd like to send a shalom to the various GMS camps, elders, and heads. And last but not least, I'd like to send a shalom to any of you Akim not named, GMS, but walking one body, one spirit in Yahushua, preaching and teaching 100% truth as it's taught to us all by the apostle elders of Great Millstone. Abaratazah, Lord willing, this be quick and to the point. Not going to make this long. The reporter that she made a couple of points, made a couple of mentions. You know, the devil, it's like the details. It's like you just waking up. The devils be in the details. The devil be in the details. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, she mentioned semiconductors as a solid substance that has a conductive conductivity between that of an insulator and that of most metals. And if you're another thing about electricity, the outer sheathing of the wire, if you say you're dealing with a 12-2 wire, just a regular 20-amp wire, you have a black and a white wire, and then you have a solid copper wire, which would be your ground wire. And the insulator will be the white sheathing around that particular copper wire, and the insulator will be the sheathing of the color of the cover around the black wire. You have a white wire and a black wire. Those wires are covered by an insulator, black and white sheathing. Anyway, just want to point that out. A solid substance that has a conductivity between that of an insulator and that of most metals, either due to the addition of an impurity or because of temperature effects. Devices made of semiconductors, notably silicon, are essential components of most electronic circuits. And as to the spirit, the United States is, making a lot of trips over there to Taiwan, and she said they are the leaders in microchipping. And mind you, we're at the cusp of World War III. And, there's other things that are going to have to come into play before, for all hell's break loose. Another, there's still some prophecies got to come to play. Revelations 13 and verses 15 through 18 come to mind. The MTOB. Yeah, the MTOB, and Jacob's Trouble, JT. And if you're going to have the MTOB, you're going to need semiconductors, you're going to need the world leaders and microchipping. It's just something just throwing out there, Like I said, the details, the devil be in the details, and just something to think about, Anyway, it says, what is a semiconductor and what is it used for? Real quick. It says definition. Well, we read the definition earlier, just now. A semiconductor is a substance that has specific electrical properties that enable it to serve as a foundation for computers and other electronic devices. And that RFID device, that's going to be, I would imagine, that, Taiwan's going to play, may play May. I'm no proof of this. I'm just trying to dissect this by way of what you hear, by way of the scriptures. That may be, Taiwan seems as though it might be a major player in the things to come here in the near future. Yep. Let's see, diode. This is going into the function of a diode integrated circuit. A with this transistor are all made from semiconductors. So, a diode, a conductor, electrical current, everyday electrical appliances. Yes, it's semiconductor, a chip making ordeal that Taiwan is invested in. It's going to come in handy. You would think that this is going to come in handy. Control electrodes, intensities, known as hollow crystals. It says, how do semiconductors work? It says most semiconductors are composed of crystals made of several materials. To better understand how semiconductors work, users must understand atoms and how electrons organize themselves within the atom. Electrons arrange themselves in layers called shells inside an atom. The outermost shell in the atom is known as the variant shell. It gets into it. I'm just pulling. If you want to read this, I'm pulling, mainly made with silicon crystals. Microchip. And that's no coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. But there are such things as prophecy. And these things have been written about in the scriptures. P-type semiconductor, they're giving you different between an N-type and a P-type semiconductor. A semiconductor device can perform the function of the original vacuum tube, but with hundreds of times its volume. Like a microprocessor chip, a single IC can do the work of a set of vacuum tubes that would fill a large building and require its own electricity generating plant. And that microchip that they plan on using, it was a guy, they had it on YouTube a while back. I posted up on my channel and they took it down. But he was in front of he was happened to be at this church and he was giving his testimony, I guess you could say, and how they were going to recharge the chip that they was planning on implanting in. And this right here falls in line with a lot of that. It says semiconductor devices can perform the function of the original vacuum tube. Just reading a few things here. But with hundreds of times its volume, like a processor chip, a single IC can do the work of a set of vacuum tubes that would fill a large building and require its own electricity generating plant. And one of the issues with making that chip was how was it going to be recharged. So, he said there's no such thing as coincidences. We know that there's such thing as prophecy. Those words like coincidence and happenstance and things like that are put into the lingo to throw you off or to not give the credit to the Most High. How about Shem Yahushua? But what is a semiconductor chip? And like I said, in that quick little clip there, 2 minute long, 3 minute long clip, they brung that up. And you wonder why the U.S. is risking war with China over dealing with an island smaller than, I've been to several islands. Taiwan seems to be just a sliver, maybe a quarter of what the size of Cuba is, or maybe an eighth of the size of Cuba. So it's dealing with a very small island. And the U.S. is risking war with China, with mainland China. And, it's got to be something. I'm just saying. This is Revelations 13 and verse 16, and it reads, and this is dealing with the Salakia, MOTB. I said that incorrectly. I said MTBO. It's MOTB. This is Revelations 13 dealing with the MOTB. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their hand or in their foreheads. Now the he going into these people who are ruling, Esau, Edom, these international bankers. And you got movies like Upgrade, and that one comes to mind first and foremost. And then you got the guy that makes Tesla's cars, I can't think of his name. Elon Musk, with his research and shipping and whatnot. But now they have to be able to get their material from somewhere, the raw material, or rather the finished product, or whatever role Taiwan plays in this. They seem to be the world's leading manufacturer of microchips. So this is leading to that. This is leading up to that. And it reads, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. That's going into the system, NATO and UN. This beast system set up by so-called white man. For it is a number of a man, and his number is 666. And like I said, that's no coincidence. But they're all prophecies, Anyway, all willing it was edifying. I want to close out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle, elders of Great Millstone, Shalom.